All right, I have one more last question before I go.
All right.
So based on all the information, I took a lot of notes. So based on all this information that you given to us,
Mm-hmm.
what is it like what is it about a man? Like how do they know? When do they know? What is it that they're looking for? I know they're looking for these qualities. Is it like anything in particular, or is it just like that individual itself?
So you're saying what is a man looking for?
Like how do they know? Like what is it that they're looking for from a woman? Like I know you talked about like the ingredients for a successful marriage.
Yeah.
You know, I know you said something about being a helpmate doing these duties, but I guess this would be like each individual man is
Yeah. So
I guess they will have their own thing. Is it something in general that they're looking for? Basically, what's the key to a man's heart? if
they
you look at it like that.
well, they say a key to a man's heart is through his stomach. So
Yeah, I heard
so
that.
cooking for this man.
Most men talk about their peace these days.
So,
right.
So basically, it just depends on who you are as a woman.
I see.
Now every man has, because I know I don't believe at love at first sight, but I'm pretty sure you've heard a man say, "Hey, I knew that I was going to marry you from the first time I saw you."
Right.
And what that means is that woman is presenting herself in a wife-like way.
Okay, that's what I was. Yeah.
So the women that are out here on social media showing they ass and they breast and showing pictures of them in lingerie and always shaking their butt on social media for attention, men don't see that as a wife. So if you presenting yourself as a wife, because every man has a vision of how his wife carries herself and what she looks like. So when he sees that, he says, damn, that's who I envision as my wife. Let me go approach her.
Okay.
So now when he approaches you, you already have, the beauty in the face. You already have the sexual attraction in the body. He sees the way you carry yourself. You have a wife-like aura around you. So once that man gets to know your personality and who you are as a person, what your character is, that's when he says, I'm going to marry you. But I knew I was going to marry you from the moment I laid eyes on you. And that's because you had a wife-like aura around you. You looked like a wife. You looked like a woman that he would marry. Every man has it. Every man has a vision of a woman, and he says, that's the type of wife that I would marry. She's beautiful, has a nice body. It's not overly voluptuous. She carries herself in a respectful manner like a lady. This is why that man can tell you, I knew I was going to marry you from the time I saw you.
Okay.
And right there, he's only thinking physically, because he still had to get to know who you were as a person and your personality.
Because he could see you physically and then start to get to know you and then starts to see, well, she's nasty, she may have portrayed to be this ideal woman that I'm looking for, but now that I'm getting to know her, she's
and this is what confuses a lot of women too, or they don't want to take accountability for their character. And that's because that same man could see that woman as a wife because that's his vision. But when he gets to know her character, he can see that's flawed. So that man in the beginning came in and said, yo, I'm looking for a wife. That's what I'm looking for. But then after he gets to know her 2-3 months down the road, he don't like her character. So now he's falling back. And now she thinks that he was playing games when in all actuality, he just got to know you.
Right.
So he was telling the truth when he said he wanted to be married. But now, 3 months down the line, he just figured out he don't want to be married to you. So now, you know, it's not that he was playing games with you and just telling you what you wanted to hear. He was actually telling you the truth. But now 3 months down the road, since he got to know who you are as a person, he don't have them same feelings. He's still looking for a wife. You just not it.
Right.
And then I would say next, after that man, you know, sees you and sees you have this wife-like aura around you, the next thing that he wants is for you to have, you know, a solid character, know how to control your emotions, have emotional intelligence, have mental fortitude, you know, understand how to keep this man's peace, because this man can be peaceful by himself.
Right.
He wants you to come in and keep his peace.
Right.
Not bring him, you know, drama and toxicity, because you don't know how to control your emotions, because you're going through mental issues that you don't know how to control.
Yep.
That would then mess up this man's peace. So when a man says he wants a woman to bring him peace, he don't necessarily want her to create peace around him. He wants her to be able to keep the peace he already has.
Right.
On top of treating herself like a lady and having that wife-like aura around her. And that's when a man will see and know within those first 6 months that I'm going to marry you. You are my wife. And that's what the basic of what every man is looking for. That wife-like aura around the woman when he first meet her presenting herself as a lady, and then her being able to maintain his peace within that relationship. In the way that a woman maintains the peace within the relationship for that man is if she's working on herself. Right. Emotional intelligence, mental fortitude, you know, taking accountability, you know, knowing the proper way to communicate and not always being mad and angry. That's what's keeping the peace in the relationship. You know, not getting mad because he was holding her accountable for something that she didn't do. Right. That she was. So that's what gets a man. That's what gets a man to marry a woman, is when she can do all of those things.
Oh, thank you for that. Yep, that answered my question.
Okay, so I know we're like 50 minutes over. This is the first time I went over this much. But of course, I like to see you all back in 2 weeks when I start the process over again. And that course will be Self-Love 101. And it'll teach you all of the things that you need to do to build your self-love, to keep loving yourself, and, you know, to not, that teaches you also the 10 different personality disorders. Not saying that any of us have personality disorders, but it will open up your mind to say, hey, I've dealt with people with personality disorders, or I have the traits of this personality disorder. So let me work on these so I can better myself for a relationship. So I'm not displaying these traits of this personality disorder to my future spouse.
And this is the beginning of the course?
Yeah, this because it's starting over, because marriage is, of course, the last course of the process. And so I was just starting back over with self-love. And then, of course, you know, if you go on my website, you'll see it's self-love, accountability, standards, boundaries, narcissism, dating, relationships, and then marriage. Okay. And of course, you can take these courses one-on-one as well if you don't want to wait like months before, you know, like if you want to take the dating course, you can book it one-on-one instead of waiting like 2 months or 3 months until I'm yeah. Okay. So definitely 2 more weeks. The masterclass will be Self-Love 101. And hopefully I'll see all of you again in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you again.
All right.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good night. Thank y'all.
Mhm.